like, it's kind of a little like enjoying white privilege, because when you're a foreigner here, you have a little bit of a different status.
Welcome to the Melanated Files. In this series, we highlight and share the stories of black people from across the globe. Remember to subscribe to this channel for weekly videos and also follow us on social media for regular updates. Let's get into the interview. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Melanated Files. My name is Ramzan, I'm your host, and today we are in Vietnam and we're joined by Kimmie. So Kimmie, can you introduce yourself to the world?
Sure thing. My name's Kim Narartu Maria Bahanu. I was born in Australia, grew up there, lived abroad in a few different countries, mostly European ones, France, Denmark. And I decided after a while, what is this fascination with Europe and European countries and European culture? I need to find out more about myself, why I'm here and where I come from. So I decided, let's start with Vietnam, the country that feels closest to home. And now I am, 2 years later, still here, living it, loving it. Probably going to retire here, let's be honest.
Okay, all right. So I know people are going to be curious about your background because they always ask questions. They're like, hey, what is she? So tell us about your background.
All right. So my mom, she's Vietnamese. She was born and raised in the south of Vietnam in the Mekong Delta.
Okay.
It's famous for its coconut trees and its fragrant alleyways and streets. I've been there myself. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
If you have the time, you should go there too.
Right.
My father is from Ethiopia, from a tiny little village about 2 hours away from the capital.
Yeah.
They split up when I was younger, so I haven't really had too much of a chance to get to know my father's side of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've never been to Ethiopia then?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's somewhere that I want to go to. I think it's a beautiful country. What do you do in Vietnam?
So recently, I've been doing a little bit of a pet project. I would start off designing my own clothes, and from there, people, they'd be asking, where do you get your clothes from? I love your style. Can you make me something? It got to the point where I was like, I can do something with this. So about 2 months ago, I released my own fashion brand, my first clothing line called Dynasty the Label.
Okay. Are you wearing your clothes now?
Yes, I am.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, it's actually really nice. I never knew you did this. It's actually pretty good.
Yo, this is the that I do, that I love. And honestly, this is just the beginning. It is exploding.
So you've been doing this for what? How long have you been designing clothes?
Designing clothes for about 2 years, just doing it for fun, doing it as a business, 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to school for it or?
No, I didn't. That's the thing that I feel like is really special about Vietnam. Whatever you want to do, you can get done. All that paperwork, all the bureaucracy, all the going to school, getting a degree, a certificate, training, you don't need that. Here, you want to do something, you just do it.
If you have the skill, you can do it, right?
The skill, the passion, the drive, hard work.
So you also teach here as well?
Yes, I do.
What's that like?
That's what pays the bills.
Okay. For now?
For now. I'm thinking in about a couple of months, maybe 6 to 12 months, I can do fashion full time.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. That's the goal, that's the dream. Okay. It's actually something I wanted to do, but never thought of doing back in Australia. Yeah. When I was a child, I'd always be wearing new clothes, trying out different designs. I'd be thrift shopping. That was a big thing, something I do with my friends. I'd always be rocking new styles. Yeah. And I thought, okay, designer, you have to go to school for that. You have to get a degree. You have to have contacts.
So let's get into your background a bit, because I know it's going to be a pain point. Because usually when people watch your videos, they're going to look at you and be like, oh, you don't look black. So you're like 0.001%. Have you encountered stuff like that, like people questioning like your background and stuff like that before, or no?
A lot of the time in Australia. The thing is, Australia, it's a huge melting pot of cultures. You'll get so many people. Actually, let's go back to the start. So Australian people, the original Australian peoples, they're the indigenous people, the Aboriginals. And when we think of Australian people, we don't think of the indigenous. We think of the colonizers. We think of the British people who came, who started the colonies. Yeah. And then from there, so many other different types of people from all around the world came. Yeah. And so now Australia, in my city, for example, Melbourne is the second biggest city there. 1 in 4 people living there were born overseas. Okay, wow. The second most spoken language in Australia is Mandarin. Okay. A lot of my friends who go to the big cities, they're like, whoa, I feel like I'm in Asia. Everyone just looks like they're from somewhere else. Wow. Yeah. Australia is really diverse. So this idea of Australian identity, it's a little funny because people, they'll ask you straight up. The first, second thing they'll say to you, hey, where are you from? And you're like, I'm from here. And they're like, no, where are you really from? You know, that sort of thing. It's like, okay, I tell them where my mother's from. I tell them where my father's from. And that's how they find out. That's how they know. That's how it goes. My parents, they were neighbors. So this is like 20-something years ago. My mom, she lived in the housing projects. She saw my father. She was like, he is a fine young man. They started talking. My mom, she's like that. She's like me, you know?
Yeah.
Whenever you see someone, you're interested, you talk. Yeah. My father, he's pretty cool too. So they just hit it off. And
have you met your father before?
they were together up until I was 4 years old. Once they split, my mom was like, I don't want any more contact.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you identify with the black side at all? What's that like?
Not too much, actually. Not too much. I don't feel particularly, culturally, I feel Asian Australian. But I'd really like to find out more about my black side. You know, and the only time that I've had contact with that is through my friends who are Sudanese, Ethiopian. They'll tell me about it. I'm finding out a lot about it here in Ho Chi Minh because there is a black community here as well.
Do you struggle with the identity at all?
When I was younger, I would be concerned about fitting in by trying to find who are my friends, what is my culture, what is my identity. And by younger, I mean 7, 8, 9, because I grew up in a neighborhood, the very first one, that was just predominantly white. There was only my family and one other family that didn't look like the other families.
Okay.
My mom, she spoke differently. I would resent her for that because that's all I knew.
What accent you mean?
Yeah, she had a Vietnamese accent and she dressed differently and the way that she looked. So I felt ashamed of my culture because I didn't know that there were other ways to be. And then once I moved, when I was 9 years old, to the inner city, it was like Aladdin and Jasmine, I can show you the world, just everything happened. There were all these people from everywhere, from India, from Sudan, from Ethiopia, from China, from Malaysia, just there. There were people who had the same hair as me, the same eyes, the same eye shape, the same food as me. Parents who also butchered the English language. And that was just the most beautiful thing, to find a place that everyone was different and that was what was normal.
So what's your ambition for life in Vietnam? Like maybe 2 years out, like earlier you said that you want to retire here. Like in the next 3 years, like where do you see yourself?
I see myself as a highly successful businesswoman. I see myself creating designs as much as I like full time, selling to people I already do around the world, but even more so. I want to stock. I'm actually going to be approaching some local brands that I think would really suit my business and the image that I want to put forward to stock my wares and just see how that goes.
Oh, wow.
Planning on taking over.
So 3 years from now, you should be a household name.
A household name.
Right? How would a person start a business in Vietnam? Like you said, like there's not a lot of bureaucracy and stuff like that, which we find in the West and other countries.
It depends on the type of business that you want to do. For example, buying and selling, that's the easiest thing to set up. You can just do it yourself.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to clothing and food. A lot of people I know that have done their own thing, set up their own companies, their own little businesses, side hustles. That's what people usually start out with. And then they grow it. That's how it usually happens, you know? If you want to do something else like real estate, IT, big investments, then it's a little bit more complicated. You might have to have a Vietnamese partner. But when it comes to just entrepreneurial, small business, it's all yours.
Okay.
Take your pick.
But of course there's paperwork involved, right? You got to go to the right offices and agencies and stuff like that.
Once you start getting big, yeah.
Okay, so like once you pass a certain threshold in terms of income or revenue, then you move on.
That's exactly it. The government will come knocking. They want a piece of the pie.
Yeah. So what is life like here in Vietnam? Like what do you enjoy the most about Vietnam?
How chill it is. For people who come here for the first time, they look around, they're like, holy moly.
Those motorcycles, oh my God. I'm just...
Yeah. The thing is,
wow.
It's hectic.
Yeah.
The pace of life, it can seem so non-stop. It's just all involving. But within all the busyness, there is so much time to enjoy, look around, see all these people. They have time for their friends, to have a coffee, to go out for a walk. It's just, here, honestly, I live my best life.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I work only, 20 hours a week? The rest of the time, I'm doing what I love. It's just capitalizing on your free time. It feels like it's a life hack, you know? It's like winning the lottery of life.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
So you'd encourage other
You
people
leave
to come
Australia, you leave Australia where you are busy busting your behind off to get to a certain job, a certain position, a promotion, to pay the rent, to pay the bills. You barely have time for yourself, your friends, your family. I don't even want to do that.
Would you advise other people to move here or just to
Definitely.
visit?
It's actually something a lot of my friends have told me, and a lot of black friends have told me as well. It's just back at home, it's a struggle, you know? Whereas when you come here, it's a little like, it's kind of a little like enjoying white privilege, because when you're a foreigner, here, you have a little bit of a different status.
Okay.
People look at you are different, you're very different.
Okay.
And most of the time, 99% of the time, people are curious. They want to know more. So people here, they want to know more about you. They're very open to learning about you and your culture, your background.
What do you like the most about Vietnam?
What isn't there to like? Okay, the food, the culture, you can go traveling. This country, there is so much to see, so much to do. It's also the perfect base, Ho Chi Minh City, to see other countries around Asia. The wage that you make, when I get my paycheck every month, pay my rent, what else do I pay? Put aside a little bit for savings, so I can put about 30%, 40% of my income aside for savings.
Okay.
And the rest, I enjoy.
In your business, of
Yeah.
course.
A lot of it goes to my business, that's right, but a lot of it's coming back in, so.
Okay. Where would you recommend someone to visit, like a must visit in Vietnam? Just one place.
Ooh, just the one place.
Just one.
Can I say a region?
Okay, a region.
Okay, the north of Vietnam.
Okay.
The north of Vietnam has the most picturesque landscapes. They've got Ninh Binh, which is something out of a fairy tale. Imagine Vietnam maybe 200 years ago. So it's quiet, really quiet. Huge karst mountains, and in between you have these lakes and rivers. You have people going by boat through the rivers, taking their time. It's so quiet. You can hear the animals. There's very little traffic. It's the countryside, very idyllic.
What do you like the least? Or something that rubs you the wrong way? Maybe a pet peeve.
The pollution.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear, but my voice, it did not sound like this like 2 years ago.
Yeah?
I think it really gets to you. That's one of the biggest challenges that Vietnam faces. It's just the motorbike pollution, the pollution from industry. And when you go out in the street, I don't know if you can feel it, but you can definitely smell it. Vietnamese people here, they wear face masks.
I don't know, it's funny because people keep telling me that, but I'm like, even when I go to China or other places, like, I'm just like, it seems okay to me. I don't know if it's because I grew up on the island. I don't even know. Maybe my lungs are good.
Research it a bit more. Pollution is actually one of the top 10
No,
killers.
I'm not denying that, but I'm saying for me, like, I don't feel the effects. Maybe I'm not in the regions long enough. That's why. Right? The next question is, what drives you?
Joy.
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 Okay.
I find what I love, and I'm gonna do it until it kills me.
What inspires your designs?
My culture. I feel very Vietnamese. Even though there's this African side to me, I still feel, because I've grown up with my mother, I have so much that I'm indebted to her for. And that's a big thing about Vietnamese culture and Asian culture in general, is that when you are born from your parents, you owe them until the day they die.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But when you walk around the streets, I don't know if you've noticed, there's just so many things to look at. The architecture, the temples, the pagodas, just the way people dress, the colors, everything. Everything. Keep your eyes open and you'll see it.
What's one advice you could give to black people that want to move to Vietnam?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. The first couple of months, for most people, it's a bit difficult. Take some time to adjust. Most of the time it's for financial reasons. People that come here flat broke. 90% of the people I know who come here, they're flat broke.
Okay.
You set yourself up, that takes maybe 2, 3, maybe 6 months.
Okay.
Usually 2, 3 months is what I've seen is the average. You won't regret it.
Yeah. So what's like apartments like? The rent and stuff, is it expensive in comparison to the West?
The thing is, you make a good wage. And the wage, it permits you to pay for your apartment, to save, to travel, to eat out 3 times a day, which is what I do.
Okay.
Which is what most people do. So honestly, for all the black people out there, come to Vietnam, check it out, see what it's like. There's just so much to see, to do, to enjoy.
What's the most common occupation for foreigners that you've
English
noticed?
teachers, hands down.
English teachers.
English teachers.
Right.
What else can you do with so little time and so much money?
What do you think is the general attitude towards black people here? Or foreigners?
Just to go back on the last thing, one thing I recommend for black people, once you start English teaching, look beyond it. Don't stick with English teaching. Do what you want to do. Find your passion projects. Think of your goals, long-term goals. Move on. Teaching really helps fund the hustle. But unless teaching is what you really want to do for your whole life,
Yeah. Okay.
there's so much more that you can do with your time. And that's something you have an abundance of here. A few of my black friends here, they do feel a bit awkward when they're here because black people are so different and there's just not many of them.
Okay.
So first of all, if there's a foreigner, be they black, be they white, be they pink, Vietnamese people will stare. I've had friends here, like we go out together, people will be touching our hair.
Really?
You know, just like this or like grabbing our arms, be like, can we take a photo? Most of the time it's just like, wow, you are so beautiful. That's what it is. Old men, old women, children, they will tell you straight up, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Most of the time it's just awe.
So where can people find you online?
So there's my website, dynastythelabel.com. There's my Facebook, Dynasty the Label. You can also find me on Instagram, Goddess Kimmie.
So guys, there you have it. This was Kimmie. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And remember to subscribe to this channel for weekly videos on the Black experience across the globe. Until next time, bye for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to share your story or have us visit your region, send us a message on any of our social media platforms or via our website.
That's good.